All right. Hello, everybody on Facebook. I accidentally
added
our Facebook page. We do have people tuning in on Facebook, so hello, everybody, and YouTube. Nobody on Twitch yet. We usually have one person watching on our Twitch channel, which I'm trying to find out who it is. But anyways, hello, everybody. Just burying myself this week. Emily's actually out at studios enjoying the last evening of Mardi Gras, which is probably wrapping up right now. Parade's actually...
Yeah, the parade should be wrapping up any minute now.
So, final night of Mardi Gras, and then that's it for Universal Mardi Gras 2022, Planet Mardi Gras, which was an absolutely amazing year for Mardi Gras this year with the parade. The parade was one of the best we've seen.
Yeah,
And,
easily.
I'm very, very curious to see where they go with Mardi Gras next year. But that is in the past, and we have some stuff to talk about. But first, as always, I kind of like to just kind of chit chat for these first few minutes, kind of what we did for the week and the weekend. And I'm actually going to talk about something I did a little bit later, so I won't talk about that now.
Yeah.
But what else? What else did I do this weekend? Saturday we crammed a lot. Oh, we went to Fantasia. I had never done those Fantasia miniature golf courses over there.
Fantasia Gardens, yeah.
Yeah, the Fantasia Gardens one. Hey, Randy, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. John says, just landed. Have a good show. Guess he was on I think he was on a trip. Michael, hello.
Now, the interesting thing with those types of courses is they're a little bit more bigger, a little bit more.
They were coming from. We have our
Congo River
ones.
Golf,
and it was a struggle with like even Jordan. Like he's Mr. Competitive. My oldest, he's 12, and he's like Mr. Competitive. I'm gonna do everything to my best of the ability. Even he was struggling.
Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than your average.
They're
mini
pretty
golf
difficult.
Course.
And even the one that's just like the Fantasia themed one, we did that one. There's another one that's like an actual like. How would you like describe?
It
like
literally is like a mini golf course.
It's a mini golf course. Like it's not a mini golf. It's a miniature. Like it's got hills and it's got fairways and it's got what's the dirt area called? Dirt area
bunkers and
bunkers. Yeah.
And
I was looking at the people. I was watching people play it. I was like, oh my god, I'd take forever on that. So we did that on Saturday, and we went and saw Sonic 2 before that with the kids, which was absolutely fantastic. Oh my god, I'm loving these Sonic movies so much. This one was just as, if not better than the first one. It was a fun time at the movies. I really enjoyed it. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik is just, it's perfect. It's so perfect, and apparently he's wrapping up on acting from what I saw.
Who knows?
Yeah. It sounded like if he doesn't get a call back to do Robotnik in the third movie, he hinted that he was going to be through with acting, which hey, good for him. He's had a heck of a career. So, and that was pretty much it. I worked today. Saturday, like I said, we did all sorts of stuff with the kids. And then I'll talk about the stuff I did on Friday a little bit later. Oh, you know what? We could actually talk about, you and I together. We could talk about, because you went and saw
Massive Talent is all.
Yeah, Massive Talent. I'm trying to think of the whole name of the movie, because it's like what?
Is it The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, yeah. And then I guess they just kind of shortened it to Massive Talent. I saw that on Friday, which was a freaking amazing film for what it is. What'd you think?
No, I mean, between that and I know you haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's like just two great original movies with great actors, but Massive Talent was just so much fun because it just sort of tweaked at like this heightened version of Nicolas Cage, who was Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
Not,
yeah.
And just a fun time. It's if you love movies, if you're a huge movie buff, it's like the perfect film because there's so many little Easter eggs and just even the way the movie's structured. There's like a story within a story going on within the movie, and it's just it's hilarious.
Hey Stacy, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Thank you.
It was excellent. That was about the height of my week. I was sick earlier this week for most of the week, which sucked.
Yeah.
And caught up on a lot of television, which
you're caught up on Halo.
Yeah, we'll talk about Halo when we get to the pop culture part, because I have seen all 5 episodes so far. But yeah, I finished over the last like week, I like watched all of Wheel of Time on Amazon, and that was sort of not, and watched what a Legend of Vox Machina, which
Yeah.
is like based on the Critical Role Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Huh.
Wheel of Time, but yeah, I've watched a lot of TV last week because I really have not been able to do much of anything else. So yeah, it was nice. Popped into Universal over this weekend and for a little bit, and sort of calm before the storm because like my family's coming in like starting next weekend. So then I'll be at Dapper Day, and then my family's coming into town. So then we'll be at Universal and Disney. So we'll be in a lot of parks.
I didn't do any theme parks this week. I kind of took a break from the theme parks this week.
And but speaking of theme parks, let's get talking about theme parks in Mass, no longer required on public transportation at Disney World.
Yeah, this was kind of the last mask mandate to be dropped from Disney inside public transportation, your monorails, your buses. And apparently things continue with, I mean, I've been hearing, with COVID at where it is right now, you don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I mean, I realize this came from the federal judge in Tampa striking down the overall mask mandate for public transportation, which mainly was airlines, but also included buses and everything. And we're not going to go into all that because that's political. But yeah, I mean, it was sort of the last thing left at Disney. Not that they really heavily enforced it.
Yeah, I've been on monorails and buses while this was still while this was still.
I mean, I always wore my mask, and I still bring a mask to the theme park because you never know what situation you're in, whether it's there's definitely been some situations where even since masks have not needed, where I've been like, I'm gonna put a mask on here because there's just someone's coughing nearby, or you're all crammed into a tight space, and it's just like ugh.
Yeah. I think it's to the point with masks, and everything is a little bit more manageable with COVID and vaccines, and I don't necessarily think the way that they did it with like you were talking about that judge. Not going to try and get too political here, but the sudden stop was a shock to a lot of people. There were pictures and videos of people like on airplanes throwing their masks off and everything. It's like,
well, you should go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's down to like personal preference. If you want to wear a mask, great. If not, you don't have to.
I think the biggest issue, just to wrap this up real quick, it's going to be the airlines because UK, about a month ago, got rid of their airline mask mandate, and within 2 weeks, hundreds of flights were being canceled a day because crews were calling out sick because we're getting sick. So we'll see what happens here. And I mean, if you're talking hundreds in flights being canceled in the UK, if that happens here, God knows how many flights a day are going to get canceled. So
just wanted to quick mention that with the latest mask update from Disney World, and Universal's been pretty much mask free for a while now. So Disney announced this new virtual mural to be added to the Cinderella Castle, which was kind of interesting.
NFTs for everyone.
It's like an NFT, not an NFT. Basically, you can select a portrait-oriented Disney PhotoPass photo from your photo gallery with the My Disney Experience app. If you don't use one of those, you can also choose from different images featuring Disney icons and favorite characters. It's $9.99 and includes a spot of your choosing on available sections of Cinderella Castle to digitally pin your photo, which will be waiting for you for at least 3 years.
I mean, it's a neat little thing. Obviously with I have an annual pass, but then once they dropped PhotoPass on there, I was not going to pay the extra $100 a month for PhotoPass. So it's a neat little thing to say you did on your vacation, and
you get what's really cool is you get a video of your photo flying from the castle, which is kind of cool. They give you a video. I mean, you can download a high resolution version on your Disney PhotoPass gallery. without
I mean, they
watermarks.
really need, I mean, it is a little thing that costs extra, but it's, we've seen them add a lot of different things to PhotoPass that, especially now that almost, everybody has to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's not included even with your annual pass. You have to pay extra for it. They need to constantly add these new little things, the lenses and new little things to I feel like to get people to still do PhotoPass.
Yeah.
So.
And stuff like this is, nice because it's a memory. It's a photo,
Yeah. And if you want to participate in it, you can. If you don't, then you don't. And it's, it's not something you have to do. So
yeah, exactly. So it was a cool little thing that they announced. I don't know if they announced when. I think it's available now, isn't it?
I believe so.
Think yeah. If you're a Disney cast member and you're a pass holder, you'll get a personalized border reflecting your affiliation. Oh, that's cool. So, anyways, moving on. This was really cool. I don't know if for those of you that saw this.
Once again, we are reminded how much better Disneyland Resort
bigger.
is to Walt Disney World.
Yeah. Ant-Man was spotted walking around Avengers Campus with a miniature version of A Bug's Life Land, which for those of you that don't know, that's where Avengers Campus was built.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cute little Easter egg to basically, they just use the PIM particles to shrink Bug's Land down.
Yeah.
And I mean, are we to assume there's little bugs in there that are the little ants that are now riding around on the attractions?
They shrunk down the tourists too, and the tourists now in the little model.
Let me out of here! No.
Let us out of here!
But it's just neat little Easter eggs that once again we've seen with Avengers Campus and Marvel Studios putting things in their marketing budget to pay for all these extra characters, and who knows who this idea was. It could have been just an Imagineers like, oh, we'll just come up with this like little miniature Bugs Land, and it's just like it's those little touches. We've talked about it. Everyone talks about that makes Disney different, and it's those little touches that I hate to say once again Disneyland gets that we usually do not get here at Disney World. That just it's a little thing, but I mean look how much publicity they got from that one little thing.
Our tweet, we shared the video from the original videos from the Caleb Bay on Twitter, and our tweet sharing his video did pretty well. It was all over Twitter. You couldn't miss it because it was absolutely adorable. Armadillo Force says the miniaturized Buglands is absolutely genius. Love it. Yeah, it was really cool. It was something that we had a quick share.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that we've seen that has made their Avengers Campus that while they don't have like the big e-ticket like we have with like Galaxy's Edge has with Rise of Resistance, they have all these characters and all this interaction and all these unique things. And I hate to say it, that's the type of stuff people remember. It's
those little things like that. Yeah.
And all I gotta say is Lucasfilm, start putting in your budget for characters and Galaxy's Edge.
What you guys got for a budget? Let's go.
Yeah, it's like Marvel's been smart about it. So
yeah, because with obviously with Avengers Campus, we've seen a show drop on Disney Plus, and literally that day the show drops.
I mean, and we've already seen it
with Moon Knight.
We've seen it. They haven't officially released it, but we've seen some on social media. Some of the music that's going into Avengers Campus Disneyland Paris, where they re-recorded the music.
Yep.
It's not even a remix. They actually went in and re-recorded a different version of some of the themes. And it's like, you got to understand, it's like how much this thing we've talked about in Galaxy's Edge, not to go off too quick, but music is such an important part of the land, and that's one of the things like I think people have stated, that makes Avengers Campus so alive too, is like you hear those themes coming, weaving in and out of the land in different spots.
And come on, when you hear the Avengers theme, you're in the moment. You hear that Avengers theme kick in, and it gets you goosebumps. I still get goosebumps when I hear the Avengers theme. Music's a huge part for me for any theme park land. Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah, we've said it 100 times. It's the biggest disappointment with Galaxy's Edge is just you don't have that feel of Star Wars that the music would bring, and it's like it wouldn't be canon, but who
Yeah.
cares? It's like it's very it's going to be interesting to see if they ever evolve Galaxy's Edge beyond this like little time period it's in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It adds that extra touch.
yeah.
Next up, really quick, I got to go to the new Salt and Straw ice cream place at Disney Springs, which is really good. Of course, I went straight for the chocolate gooey brownie. But you can try everything. Huh?
I said, yeah, basic.
I am a basic, you know what?
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, God knows I love chocolate more than anything else. So.
I told that was exactly what I told the lady at the Salt and Straw place. I was like, I want to be unique. I want to try this, you know, the one of these weird ones.
The strawberry with the pepper. Was it strawberry honey balsamic with black pepper?
I tried that one and it was really good. And they let you try, and I could have tried this whole menu with the little sample spoons that, you know, they scoop up and they hand you. I think I tried every one but a few. The coffee one, this one, the Panther coffee. I didn't try that one. I bought the chocolate gooey brownie.
Well, I find it interesting because I knew this beforehand, but it's like they actually have the one that they do with the salty donut. The salty
donut guava and cheese.
Salty donuts in Orlando, but it's not at Disney Springs. But yeah, I found it interesting that they brought that because I had seen like Salty Donut do a thing about that before. So
and then it looks like they're going to be kind of doing these. They're going to alternate out with these limited edition flavors. These ones are called the Student Inventor Series. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but they have 5 limited edition flavors that you can choose from as well. And for those that are looking for a vegan, or let me go back here, down here at the bottom, the freckled mint chocolate chip and the roasted pineapple coconut sherbet are vegetarian, vegan friendly. So if you're looking for those options,
yeah, I mean, Salt and Straw is known for very high quality, very unique flavors. You know, rotating flavors, which is great. I mean, face it, Disney Springs is a lot of tourists, but Disney Springs is a lot of locals too.
Yeah,
and we, you know, we definitely love it. You know, I'm all for them. Yes, you had Ghirardelli there. You have the gelato place, but this is a different level of ice cream. This is
it was
very
really good.
unique,
very
very high end and very unique flavors. And like I said, there's going to be constantly rotating limited edition flavors at this place. This is what they're known for.
Yeah, and they have, here's the pricing. Double scoop is $9.50, single scoop $6.95, kid scoop is $5.75, and they do have this thing which is really cool. It's literally a flight of ice cream. You know how you get like a flight of beers, like 4 beers?
Yeah.
This is 4 different flavors of ice cream, and each one has like a waffle chip in it. So that's it's. I think that was reasonably priced too. I think it was like right here, $14.25 for the ice cream flight, which isn't a bad deal.
No, I think that's a pretty good deal. Like I said, this is a different level of ice cream. This isn't this is not your basic ice cream. Even like it's on its own level. And
there's some quick pictures. They have merchandise there, Salt and Straw merchandise that you can buy, and all sorts of stuff. So, anyways, really quick, just wanted to mention that I went there, got some ice cream. You can open up a new ice cream place. I'll be there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited to try it when I get there. I can still have a little bit of ice cream every once in a blue moon. So
yeah, pretty much all the news this week is quick stuff. Next up, Disney World reveals the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind track list, and I'll go through it really quick. Here it is: September, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Disco Inferno, The Tramps, Conga, Gloria Stefan, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Tears for Fears, Iran, A Flock of Seagulls, and One Way or Another, Blondie. So
yeah, I feel like the weirdest one on there is Everybody Wants to Rule the World. But I mean, I am all for this, for it having random, you know, much like Mission Breakout has, where it's random songs. Maybe also, fingers crossed, there might be some secret songs that apparently that'd be neat if maybe in the future that pop in and out.
Yeah,
I mean, I know some people have you know that complained that the track list, maybe if there would have been 1 or 2 more offbeat songs, that's really what Guardians movies are known for.
Yeah.
So it's
And the wife did ride it. Cheryl rode it yesterday. She said it's one of the best coasters she's been on. So
yeah, I think, you know, we've had a bunch of you've had Cheryl ride it. We've had a bunch of our friends ride it. They all say it's a very unique experience.
it
A
seems
lot
to
of
be
fun.
the consensus seems to be it's Space Mountain on crack.
Yeah, I mean,
To put it one way. Everybody's saying it's Space Mountain, but on another level, obviously.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited, and in about I guess a little week and a half, we'll get to ride it at the media event.
Yeah, ThrillGeek will be there at the media event. Disney has invited us out to we're guessing this is part of it. The media event was
no,
advertised.
They actually finally said that it was part of it.
Oh, did they? I was going to ask you if you got any updates on it.
We've even gotten a thing, like, you know, we had to pick which like interview things we wanted to do.
Yeah. So we'll be Barry. I'm sending Barry to this one. I figured it was only fair since I went to Galactic Star Cruiser. Barry's going to be covering Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind here. And,
I'm going to be killing myself that week because when I'm not at the media event, I will be with my family.
Yeah, like you said earlier, your family is going to be down. So
yeah, it was not the greatest timing, but it is what it is. You know, but yeah, we will be there for that. We will also get you know, I know it's unofficially open, but it's officially opening April 27th. The new Connections Cafe and Eatery. We will be getting to try a bunch of that. Hopefully, actually, I'm going to try to get by there this week to maybe do a quick a video review of a couple of the items there. So it's all coming together now.
Yeah, but we'll be there. Well, Barry will be.
By end of May, we will have a bunch of stuff in Epcot that's been closed for a long time that is finally reopening and sort of giving us a little bit more of a semblance of normalcy. I mean, there's still one section that's all fenced off, but it's going to at least give things a bit of a boost at Epcot.
I saw the rock works coming together for the Moana fountain walkthrough experience or whatever that's going to be. So that's starting to come along now as well.
Yeah, that's starting to come along, and then we'll see, you know, we you know, been told what the festival center has been canceled, but then what's going in that area, no one still seems to know what's going into that area. So, you know, we still got a little while there and we still got the play pavilion that is being worked on. So, you know, we'll be interested to see once that, and we didn't even mention Tron has trains running.
I was just going to say that. If you guys tuned in last week, Emily and I talked about Tron testing, so that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, you know, I have a feeling once we get past Guardians here, you know, fingers crossed, you know, the suns seem to be lining up that October, November.
Yeah, I saw some people mention maybe Tron October.
Yeah,
but
I mean, for the last 6 months of the 50th, you know, for the sort of the final push of the 50th.
Yeah,
maybe we're gonna get Tron up and running, and then, you know, they ain't leave much left after that. It's basically the play pavilion and the Moana water thing, and then whatever else is going there in the middle of the celebration area. So we'll see. But speaking of things coming back,
speaking of things coming back to life from the dead, not only this, but Disneyland's really kind of doing this whole little celebration of all their nighttime spectaculars coming back. Obviously, the big one being Main Street Electrical Parade kicked off this weekend, and they actually did a surprise one on, what was that, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
That they live streamed at Disneyland. I think it was Thursday. And but it officially debuted the next day, right? I believe.
Yeah, it officially did. I believe it was next day or the day after.
It was either that or yesterday, Saturday.
Then they had a whole thing. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I think because then they had a whole thing for World of Color too the following night. That was like private.
Yeah. But we got better look at the new finale float, which for those of you watching the live stream, this is a picture of it right here. Featuring all these very similar to kind of It's a Small World kind of figurines.
It's you know, they sort of created the new finale. unfortunately, the parade has lost some things over the years. There was the whole section that used to have like Dumbo and the sort of circus section that I think it's been like 4 years since that disappeared.
Yeah.
The finale looks amazing.
Yeah.
My whole thing is the finale makes the rest of the parade look really bad.
Yeah, I think they put so much into this finale, it kind of showed with the rest of the parade.
It just, and I realize people, especially at Disneyland, have such a nostalgia for this thing. I feel like here at Disney World, we don't have the same nostalgia for Main Street because we got Spectro Magic, and then they let that rot.
Yeah.
But it's, I will say this: Main Street Electrical Parade looks 100 times better going down Disneyland's parade route than it did going down Walt Disney World, especially
Yeah.
down their Main Street USA, just because since their Main Street USA is not as big
Yeah.
as ours is. But it's just the finale was cool, and hopefully if I get out to Disneyland this year, I will definitely watch it. But we shouldn't be celebrating a 50th anniversary of a parade. I'm sorry. I know there's so many people who love that parade, but
purely,
it's
like you said, it's purely nostalgia with this parade.
They created a whole new nighttime parade that they refuse to run because they don't want to spend the money to run it.
Yeah, it's pure nostalgia, and I think this parade holds a special spot in anybody that has any remote knowledge of Disney, in their heart. But
albeit with me though, I'm like, I watched saw a clip of the finale of the first World of Color, and I'm like crying because that is one of my favorite nighttime shows.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's partly because the first time I saw it, I was like, well, it doesn't have fireworks. It's like, how is this going to be, really amazing with just fountains and fire and projection and lasers. And then I was blown away, and it
really
is my
good. Yeah.
it's my favorite nighttime show. And they've just obviously watching like a 4K video of it. I did yesterday, and just they went in and they upgraded all the lighting, all the projections, and it looks even more amazing now than it did the last time I saw it. So and then they brought back the Disneyland Forever fireworks. So I think the only thing's left is Fantasmic to come back.
Fantasmic, yeah.
Same thing here.
Yeah, well, we don't have Fantasmic back here either. But this massive new finale for the Main Street Electrical Parade features characters from Encanto, Jungle Book, Raya and the Last Dragon, Aladdin, Coco, Mulan, Brave, Princess and the Frog, and more. And then it says the finale also pays tribute to the parade heritage with the return of the Blue Fairy character from Pinocchio and a unique 19-foot-tall representation of Sleeping Beauty Castle. So it's back, ladies and gentlemen. Main Street Electrical Parade.
It was really great, and I liked how they weave the different themes into the finale too, with the music, and well done. And they love that parade out there for some weird reason. But hey, we got some of the merchandise here at Disney World, so it's
some of the Main Street merchandise.
Yeah, it showed up here at Disney World. So some people were joking online. It's like, let's just rub some salt in the wounds of the fact that we don't have a nighttime parade here. Here's some Main Street Electrical Parade 50th anniversary merch.
Yeah. I still want Universal to come out with that USJ, that Universal Japan nighttime parade. I still want that over here.
I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger on that, because
that would be an amazing addition to Universal Studios to have that.
I'm pretty sure it could fit on that parade route. There's a way for it to make it down that parade route.
Yeah.
All
right. That's it for theme park quick hits, topics, news. Like I said, a lot of quick stuff this week. Nothing to really. We had the whole Reedy Creek this week, which was obviously the big theme park news. But it's gotten so political and so. We don't know what's going to happen. We didn't want to really spend the time.
I feel like once we get to a point where we know what's really going on, there's no point in talking about it, because I've seen so many people in the media get it wrong. that it's just we're just gonna not touch that for right now. And
Yeah,
when things get a little bit more solid about what's the future of Reedy Creek, then we'll get into it. But
I kept up with it for a while, and then it just started getting too deep and too political. And even
not even
myself, I was like,
political,
okay,
but I got tired of some of the dumb takes that I was reading.
yeah, I had to kind of step away from it. So that's kind of why we're not talking about that. But let's move on and talk some pop culture stuff really quick because we do have a few quick things to talk about. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, unfortunately, got delayed, which is funny because when I went and saw Massive Talent, or no, Sonic, there was a trailer for this before it, and it still had the old date on it. I was like,
yeah,
sad.
I mean, I really thought we were done with the delays on stuff, and then this just yeah.
But it got pushed back from late this year, which was going to be October 7th, 2022, the first part, because remember they're splitting this movie up into 2 chapters.
Yeah.
June 2nd, and now it's June 2nd, 2023. Collider also says the film has also dropped part 1 from its title, which I didn't.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to go with 2 different names now instead of part 1 and part 2.
Kind of split it up into two actual sequels.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it would make more sense to me, and it would make people sometimes when it's like I mean, it's not like, I'm sure the ending's going to set up whatever the next thing that happens. It's not like it's not like Dune where like they just release it. It's Dune, and then you get to the movie theater. It's like Dune Part 1.
Yeah, exactly. But it is delayed.
Like we know 2 movies are coming, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's disappointing. But
March 29th, 2024 for the part 2, if it's still going to be called part 2.
Yeah.
So, anyways, some sad news out of the Spider-Verse. I'm excited about it. I still say the first movie is one of the best Spider-Man movies yet, even though it's animated.
Yeah, it is.
It's such a great movie.
I've watched it so many times.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love that movie so much. So some not so good news for Netflix. This was some interesting news. Netflix earlier this week shared that they have lost 200,000 subscribers in the first 3 months of 2022. And then they expect to lose 2 million more this quarter.
I mean, there's that, and then as a response to that, they completely gutted their animation unit.
Yeah, which I saw that, yeah.
And just like some of the things that came out of some of the articles about that, where like, we only want stuff like Boss Baby, and it's like, you realize the most popular animation is like stuff that appeals to adults and children.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just, there's a lot of questions about, there's been a lot of articles about how Netflix runs their thing. And I will admit, there's not as much stuff. I do not watch Netflix that much.
Yeah.
For how much I pay for it a month, there are times where I'm getting this close to dropping it for a little while.
That was kind of what when this was announced, I kind of sat back and I kind of thought about, and I was like, you know what? I really don't watch, besides Stranger Things and, maybe the occasional like documentary. I just don't use Netflix that much. Everything's been Disney Plus, HBO Max, and maybe Hulu.
I feel like we're hitting a reckoning point with streaming, and I think it's really like Wall Street is hitting a reckoning. People can't afford all these streaming services.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like all these streaming services. If you go look at I was shocked if you kind of like, I don't know, for those of you that do your finances, pay your bills. If you go look and see how many subscription services you're actually signed up for, it's crazy.
I mean, I'm lucky. Like Hulu, I get for free through the cell phone.
Yeah.
HBO Max I get free through my employer right now.
Yeah.
I pay for Netflix and I pay for the most expensive tier. That's the other thing. The price has gone up. They're more expensive than almost everybody else now.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, because of their basing all their programming decisions on their algorithm. The programming it's a lot of crap, and then they don't market stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like, as much as we complain sometimes about like how much stuff comes out on Disney Plus, the stuff that does come out gets marketed, and you know about it, and it's an event.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I've never thought about the whole marketing thing with Netflix. I mean, besides Stranger Things, which is crammed down your throat.
I mean,
don't get me wrong, I love Stranger Things.
It's also, I hate to say it, it's because we, Sin and I don't really binge stuff because we don't have the time. But dropping everything all at once, and I guess this is the thing they've learned they're not doing with Stranger Things, is they're splitting it up. It's like people only talk about it for a certain amount of time, and then boom, they stop talking about it. Whereas your Star Wars and Marvel shows on Disney Plus, it's like someone's talking about it every week for weeks on end.
Yep.
And it's like, I think Netflix is one of the only ones left that still dump everything all at once. Amazon doesn't do it. Amazon and Hulu at most may have 2 or 3 episodes come out when it first comes out.
Yeah.
But nobody else does that anymore, because they know if you want people to keep talking about your thing, if you want to stay with your service, then you don't release everything all at once.
Yeah, sure.
And I just think, with Netflix also losing almost all, this other programming, like, The Office and
with other streaming services. Yeah.
I mean, they have Seinfeld, but God knows how much money they paid for Seinfeld, and I could give 2 craps about Seinfeld. I don't know who these people are who have all these time to watch these reruns. I know people have comfort shows, but I barely have enough time to watch the new stuff I want to watch.
Tell me about it.
Reruns of anything. It's like, so it's like I'll have reruns on in the background sometimes, usually The Simpsons, but I don't have time.
Jordan
to watch
watches Stranger Things. That's about how I get caught up with, like,
I mean, and it's just Netflix used to be the place where there was a lot of stuff, and it is that way in a lot of other countries still.
Yeah.
I think their biggest issue is holding on to the US, but even that's going to change as all these other studios now introduce their services in other countries. And I think it's a common, people talk about Disney's stock price being down. It doesn't really have to do with what's going on in Florida. It has to do what's going on with Netflix and whether streaming is really going to make as much money as they all thought it would. And I don't think it is.
Yeah. So. No, it was really interesting news. And they're it says right here, their stock fell like 35%. I forgot how many billions of dollars that was, or something like that. Where is it? Yeah, overnight the stock went crashing down because of this news that they're, and the other thing is too is the whole Netflix seemed to be blaming it on the password sharing thing.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, you want to blame your customers. It's like that's not good. I mean, it's and I don't really think they lost 200,000 subscribers because of password sharing. I was like, what? Are you sure about that? And now they're talking about like introducing a level that will have commercials, and it's
that'll have ads. Yeah,
and it's like that, and almost everybody else has done that, and like I said, I just Netflix doesn't have the cachet it used to have anymore, and it's just,
somebody on Twitter. Somebody on Twitter actually had a good analogy. Netflix has gotten very to the point where they've done this thing where they throw a bunch of stuff out and see what sticks type of.
And you can't do that in this day and age anymore.
Yeah.
You luck out with something like Squid Game, but then you totally screw up. Even though I like it, you totally screw up the Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah, because they canned that after one season.
Yeah, but you can't. That's the other thing. A lot of these shows, it's like nobody wants to watch them because they don't know if it's ever going to get a second season.
Everybody's afraid to get invested into something.
The creators of the show don't do a self-contained story. It's like you can give them this with Squid Game. They did a self-contained story. They left little things that where they can continue the story, which they obviously are going to, since it was such a huge hit. But it's like, Cowboy Bebop, they left you hanging because they just assumed they were going to get another season, and it's like it's that's why people don't want to watch some of these Netflix shows too.
Going over to the comments real quick, Indoor Cat says, I believe all the people who were trapped at home are kind of going back to work or back out and about. Yeah, I mean, that could have an effect on, lost subscriptions because, during COVID, there was a lot of people that stayed home, and probably a lot of them signed up for Netflix.
And so even some of the stuff that was a big hit, like at the beginning, like Tiger King, they came out with a season 2 and nobody I know watched it, and nobody wanted to watch it. And
yeah, that wasn't necessary.
And that's and it's a show after I watched, a couple months after watching it, I was like, that all those people were awful, and it's like, I don't want to sit through that again. I don't. It's like,
the first season of Tiger King was fascinating. It was interesting, but that was it. Like you said, you learned that those people were terrible people, and it was time to move on.
Everybody except for a couple of people, they were all horrible, awful people, and it's like, I really don't give a crap where they're at now. So
Armadillo Forest says, I stopped my Netflix sub last year, haven't missed it yet. It was really interesting. This news, it was huge news about them losing the 200,000 subscribers, and apparently they're on track to lose more. So anyways, we got a few trailers to quick chat about here. First up, we haven't talked about Lightyear a whole lot. We got a second trailer with actually a little bit more detail.
More detail.
The first couple, well, they did like a teaser trailer, and then they did a trailer, and there wasn't much there wasn't much meat on the bones with these trailers. But this third trailer gave us a lot more, which I'm excited about this movie. I think Chris Evans is going to be great as Buzz Lightyear. We got a new poster for the movie.
No, I'm excited. I gotta admit, this trailer has finally got me sort of excited for this film. I still find it funny. Like, this is the movie that Buzz Lightyear toys that Andy loves is based off of, but it looks better than Andy's World.
Right.
And I'm just like, and it's like, shouldn't this look more like an 80s action film? But yeah, I'm going to suspend that disbelief. But no, it looks funny thing is, like, it looks it's got a little of a plot taken from Interstellar with some time travel involved in this. And so I'm excited to see basically Pixar is going to do a straight up action film here.
Yeah.
And I realize it's using the Buzz Lightyear universe. But we've said this before on here. It's like Pixar has been taking some daring, with Soul and Luca, and
I didn't know Taika Waititi's doing a voice in this.
Yeah, I mean, they've been really trying some different things, and I even think with Lightyear, it's like they're doing a straight up sci-fi action film.
Yeah.
In all, like, I mean, I'm sure there'll be comedic moments, but there's definitely seems some seriousness to this film too, which
and like I said, I'm pretty excited. I think Chris Evans is going to be great as a Buzz Lightyear. It's cool to see him doing an animated movie, kind of hearing his voice. We've seen so much of Captain America, and we've seen so much of Chris Evans. It's cool to see him do some voice acting.
I'm excited. I'm excited it's coming to a theater.
Yep. And finally, we got our first teaser trailer.
Finally.
For Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't have the entire trailer up here, but I do have like a little bit of a slideshow from the Marvel wiki. So
I thought Barry, it was the perfect type of teaser trailer. Told you nothing what the film is about, except for Thor's on a journey.
Yep.
Gave you just glimpses. A couple of shots that are like straight off a comic book page. There's a couple of shots in there that are literally like ripped from the comics.
It's that one with the giant monster in the background.
Yeah,
or whatever, right? Yeah,
literally straight from one of the Thor comics.
We got we got Thor working out. I think Fat Thor is no longer a thing.
Which is, I'm all for. It's
And for those of you that
yeah,
didn't see, his hat says the strongest Avenger if you zoom in on it, which was fantastic.
It's definitely it's gonna have that mix of humor that Ragnarok had.
Yeah, because Taika Waititi's back directing.
Well, and that's always people always like to talk about the humor of Ragnarok, and I was like, yeah, but Ragnarok's also a very dark story. It's like
Yeah.
it's not like it.
I'm on
It's like
I'm on a
yeah,
few
it's got this.
I'm on a few Marvel Facebook groups, and the Marvel hardcore nerds were I guess they weren't too happy with the comedy aspect of Ragnarok.
Oh, I know. I
was
love
like,
how
are you kidding me?
there's people who come out of the woodwork now on some things. It's just like, yeah, it's like it had comedy in it, but also that movie was dark. It
Yeah.
had some dark moments in that film.
And
And
the Guardians, we see the Guardians back.
And I mean, there's already the scene with the Guardians with Floor like tilting his head out.
Yeah,
It's already become a meme.
There's already 6 million memes with that picture on the internet.
But it's I mean, they just there's a nice, cute little moment in the trailer, and and
smoochy.
yeah. And of course the final shot of the trailer, we get Zeus.
Yeah, we see Kurt Russell, or was it not Russell Crowe? Russell Crowe, yeah. Not Kurt Russell. We see Russell Crowe as Zeus. This is the picture I was. This is the one that I was telling you. Somebody showed me the comic book, and it's like a straight rip out of the comic books.
Yeah. I mean, his the boat too is that's straight out of the comics too. It's. And so I think the screenwriter of the first Thor even I think he posted on social media how like they had pitched that thing in the original Thor movie, and they thought they were out of their minds that they pitched the boat that Thor can travel around on, and it's just like, and of course the final shot of Jane Foster as the mighty Thor.
Yep. She's back.
She's back. Yeah, I'm excited.
She is buff. She is ripped. Look at her. Look at her arms.
She is ripped.
I love it. I am so here for it. I'm so excited.
No, I mean it's this is what like we talked about with multiverse. This is how these movies are going to be from now. They're all going to be group films. That albeit when we get something like Shang-Chi and probably Blade or Fantastic Four, it's like we're at the point now where like all these so-called single films are still going to be there's going to be a certain amount of other characters in them now, and I think like I said, we're going to get to see the Guardians in this. We're going to see the return of Jane Foster. I'm sure there's a couple of other little things in this that we haven't heard about that are going to show much like with multiverse. It's exciting. I'm Chris Evans has just Ragnarok totally reinvigorated this character and really invigorated his playing of this character.
This poster was fantastic, by the way, because we got both one of him and her, and I love how Natalie Portman posted this on her Instagram, and she was like, and you thought you were the only one, and she tagged Hemsworth's Instagram, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
like, it's completely like poking fun at him.
The fact that they got her back, that to me shows you like their idea for this film was enough to get her to come back.
Yeah.
And because I know she was not very happy after Dark World.
Indoor Cat says, I'm excited for another amazing soundtrack. Yeah, the Ragnarok soundtrack, now that you mentioned it, was actually really good. I do.
I mean, I expect this to be, we've got some fun stuff coming up here. Start with Multiverse of Madness, then Miss Marvel, and then Thor: Love and Thunder. We're getting a nice spate of Marvel going again here.
Yeah, we're just about to wrap up Moon Knight because isn't the
2 more episodes?
Two more. I was gonna say 2 more, right? Yeah,
that has been maybe some of the most fun, unique stuff. It's we said it before in here, but it's just nice to have something new where you didn't have to know any characters, any other thing. Just you're in this world, and
like I said, when we
Are
started talking
Egyptian
about Moon
gods
Knight,
real? You know, in the
yeah,
MCU,
like when we
they don't
first
seem
started
to be
talking about
aliens.
this during the live stream, I knew nothing about Moon Knight, nothing
Yeah.
at all. So I just dove into the show and watched it, and I'm confused as hell as at the end of
Oh,
this episode with the
episode 4 was nuts, but it was so much fun and
yeah.
so cool. And now we got 2 more. It's crazy. We got 2 episodes left, and it's been wild. And if this if the 2 episodes left end up, this finale wraps up and it's just as good as the whole series is, fingers crossed they'll be able to get Oscar Isaac to do this again, because
He's been great in it. He's just been absolutely fantastic.
just the when he goes from Mark to Steven, it's just it's
Yeah.
like an acting class of just
Yep.
seeing
Yep.
his entire body language just changes.
Yeah, he's been great.
It's been amazing so far. But speaking of series and video game adaptations,
Yeah, before we wrap up here really quick, I got to get your since you're all caught up on Halo here, after this we'll wrap it up and get on out of here, but what do you think about Halo so far?
I really like it as someone who's played some of the games, not all the games.
Yeah.
I I think they have done a great job. Number one, humanizing Master Chief, which
Sure.
that to me has probably been the thing that has held up Halo over the years and all these failed adaptations, is figuring a way to humanize him.
Yeah.
Figuring a way to humanize the Spartans, period, at least the main Spartans. I feel like they've made and I think in the later games they get a little bit more evil. They made the UNSC a little bit more evil.
Yeah, they definitely show you a different side of the UNSC that you don't really see in the video games.
Yeah, and obviously, Dr. Halsey is definitely, she's I'm still not totally sure what her agenda is after 5 episodes.
Yeah, there's I've read a few of the books. I've read The Fall of Reach, which all the Halo fanboys that are like, "Oh, Master Chief took his helmet off in the first episode. This show sucks." And I'm like, "Have you read any of the books? Because if you have, you're going to be in for a even bigger disappointment about Chief taking off his helmet." But
I know.
me as a super, I'm a huge Halo nerd, and I was kind of weirded out about him taking off his helmet. But then after watching the first episode, I kind of sat back and I was like, all right, they're obviously going to, like you said, they're going to try and humanize him and give him, build character, and obviously they couldn't have Master Chief walking around in his helmet. And Master Chief is voiced by Steve Downes, who is the video game. So, it was several things that were like, okay, he's going to have to take his helmet off. But anyways.
No, I mean, and I think they've done a great job with the characters, even with the teenage girl so far. And I realize her side, obviously I'm sure at some point she's going to tie back in to something to whatever's going on with the Covenant and with Halo and with the objects and everything. But it's like, I feel like that's part also to sort of show you what's going on in this world. It's like, there's some of the humans are battling with the other humans, which, was in the video game somewhat, but like
very likely.
This is an important part, is the fact that these so-called good guys, are they really good guys?
Aren't really good guys, sort of. Yeah.
Because like they're supporting basically like this dictator.
Yeah.
Who's murdering people.
Yeah.
Just so they can keep resources, which, where have we seen that happen in in our world? It's they're very, using, that type of thing in making, and I can't remember how much in the videos, how integral Master Chief is, that this happened to him as a child, and that thing, him finding that thing as a child is changed his entire life to the point that, they kidnapped him and we're all assuming killed his parents.
There's hints of it about him being, the Spartan program in general. I think from what I can remember, and there's one of the games talks about the history of the Spartans and how the kids were taken from their parents and that sort of thing. But anyways, I'm just glad we've got something Halo other than the video game, because the Halo movie, Halo TV show has been in the works, been rumored for the latter part of God knows how long, probably a decade, if not longer. But Indoor Cat says, yeah, Cortana is still the best Halo in character, or best character in Halo. Yeah, which is good to mention because Jen Taylor does do the voice of Cortana in the TV show, who does the voice in the video game. So it was cool to see her back.
I
for the
like
TV
what
show
they've done
Cortana.
with Cortana so far is like, you know, they've sort of shown so far she's you know, is not, you know, I mean, I know she eventually in the video game she turns evil.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, she's not really on Master Chief's side.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to watch them portray their very, very beginning of their relationship, Cortana and Master Chief and all that stuff. So anyways,
I mean, I'm assuming that's going to evolve, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely going to change as things go on here. But it's been really interesting to watch the beginning relationship of Cortana and Master Chief.
And I guess the biggest thing is having a human character among the Covenant.
Yeah, that's been interesting. The girl, what's her name in the show? Gosh, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she's called, you know, she has a name, but then she's called something else by the well,
she like turns into the Flood or something. Like she was, I don't know much about her. Her character has been interesting. And this episode actually ended up with a cliffhanger with her.
Yeah, she obviously has some sort of plan, and you know she's tied to the object. What the heck are they called?
The Blessed. Yeah, her name's the Blessed One.
Yeah, they call her the Blessed One.
Yeah.
But she's tied to the objects too.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, she has some sort of plan. You know, they did show her like she was on some some slave place or something, and I guess, you know, they were looking for her because, like I said, she has some sort of ties to them, to the objects too, and they obviously she hates her own people.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, on the other hand, if you grew up in a place like that, maybe you would too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see what, you know, I at first thought, oh, orphan, and then I was like, oh, maybe Master Chief had a sister.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's not the direction they went in with that. But I think I know some people, but you had to do something, like you said, you have to humanize these characters, and and you have to give people, you know, when you're on a TV show, you sort of have to see the Covenant side too. And I think by having this human being who apparently has, you know, some sort of connection to the objects, but also being on the Covenant side, that gives you a look into their world.
Yeah,
that I don't know if it would work as well if it was just their aliens. Yeah, you get to see their alien part, but it's like you don't sort of totally understand, you know, what's going on here. And
thanks, Armadillo, for tuning in.
I think it's so far it's been very well done.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'm entertained. It's entertaining. It's like I said, it's fun to see a Halo TV show.
It's definitely, as someone who watches the new treks like Discovery, Picard, it's definitely on the same level of production level as far as like the money they have spent on sets and special effects. And while there's not really any name actors in the show, they're all like very, like the guy who plays Master Chief, he was on Orange Is the New Black. They're all like very good. Probably
Pedro, what is his name? Pedro something?
Pablo Schreiber, I think.
Yeah, I knew it was Pedro Pablo P. Name.
Yeah, I think what's her place who plays Natasha McClellan, who plays Halsey, is probably maybe the most well-known person in the entire cast. But it's very, very, very so far. I think a very good cast. Even the other three Spartans so far. Started, well, obviously the one who removed her chip has started to show a little bit of personality. The funny thing I think is the one big guy Spartan to me, that's like, well, that fanboys, there's your guy who just goes, or
Yeah, yeah.
has no personality, has
Would just kill. I'm a
could just
soldier. Yeah.
kill, and it's like, I'm like, did they write him that way just to sort of screw with people? Of like,
Yeah.
here's your character with no personality.
But this episode, the to wrap it up here, the latest episode 5, Halo nerds finally got a really awesome epic battle scene at the end with
they got the little dude. They got the little dudes in there.
Grunts and jackals and warthogs and explosions and Master Chief flying through the air. It was like straight out of the video game, and it was fantastic.
Oh no, it was straight out of the video game. I was like, I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe they actually brought the grunts.
The grunts were fantastic. I love the grunts. They're so silly and just nonsensical characters. And the one that hijacked the warthog and then Chief jumps in and like shoots it. And anyways, it was great. I loved it. I'm loving the show. So anyways,
I think it's very well done so far, and it's been
and they've already apparently greenlit season 2. So we're gonna be getting Halo here for a little while. So
hopefully they've got at least a contained story over 2 seasons.
They have a plan.
What's gonna happen after that, but it's, and I it'd be able to see how well it's done for Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it's going to do and how it's going to hold out. So anyways, that's everything we have for this week, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the live stream. We actually had a pretty active chat tonight. I appreciate everybody kind of chat along Twitch, on the YouTube. I really, really appreciate everybody tuning into the live stream. I love it. I love the comments. I love the chat. I'm pretty happy with tonight. So thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in, and we're going to get on out of here. Barry, tell everybody where they can find us and find you online and all that stuff.
Well, I am at Culture and Thrills on Twitter, Instagram.
Down right there.
Right there. There. No, there. There.
There.
We are at ThrillGeek on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Everywhere. Yeah. ThrillGeek.
We are Facebook.com/ThrillGeek on Facebook. YouTube, right here, YouTube.com/ThrillGeek. Please like and follow, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Expect a bunch of videos coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So as we get to go to the media event and get to check out all the new things going on at Disney. And of course, ThrillGeek .tv/Twitch.
No, twitch.tv/ThrillGeek.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And of course, ThrillGeek.com for the latest in theme park and pop culture news.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure I've been really focusing on our Twitch. Make sure you're subscribed to our Twitch. You're following our Twitch, whatever it is on Twitch. Subscribe, follow.
Twitch.
We had a couple people on Twitch tonight. We had who did we have here? We had Indoor Cat. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Armadillo 4, you had to jump out, so appreciate you, even though you're probably not here anymore. Michael, you're tuning in on YouTube. Who else? WDW Stacy, thank you for tuning in. Randy, thank you for tuning in on YouTube.
And the nice thing about ThrillGeek this week is you can watch it whenever you want because it's on YouTube.
Yeah, we will be right back here next week at 8 p.m. with the usual live stream ThrillGeek this week on our YouTube and Twitch. I did Facebook this week by accident. I don't think we had anybody watching on Facebook. That's why I don't do it anymore. So next week we will be right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern for another ThrillGeek This Week live stream on our YouTube and Twitch. So make sure you're subscribed. You have all the notifications turned on, all that jazz. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.